I never thought dying would feel like waking up to your own funeral. But there I was, flatlining on that sterile gurney, monitors screeching like banshees while my son, Ethan, stood in the doorway of my ICU room, his Armani suit rumpled, eyes darting to his Rolex like he had a board meeting with God. He didn't hold my hand. He texted his lawyer about the will instead, whispering, "Make it quick. She's got maybe hours." And just like that, the golden boy I'd built an empire for walked out, leaving me to choke on the tubes and the betrayal. My last breath a silent curse. "I'll bury you first." But death? Nah. It had other plans. 7 days later, after the flatline, the blackout, the cold slab, I opened my eyes not to fluorescent hell, but to the penthouse mirror in Ethan's Tribeca loft, staring at his face, sharp jaw, gelled hair, that smug cleft chin I'd paid orthodontists a fortune for. My hands, his hands, trembled as I touched the glass, feeling the stubble, the pulse of a body 20 years younger, stronger. Body swap. Freakiest. Most biblical bullshit imaginable. I was trapped in my son's skin, and somewhere, rotting in that ICU bed under my name, was him, Autumn Hale, the tech mogul matriarch, discarded like yesterday's stock tip. It hit me like a freight train through Wall Street. This wasn't random cosmic fuckery. No. This was opportunity, wrapped in revenge's barbed wire. Ethan had poisoned me, slow-drip arsenic in my morning kale smoothie, hidden in the lab reports he'd overseen as my CFO. The secret? He'd been skimming millions from Hale Dynamics for years, funneling it to his mistress's offshore accounts, framing me for the SEC violations when the audits got too close. I'd taken the fall, indicted, assets frozen, while he played the grieving heir. Deep betrayal? That's Shakespearean. I'd raised him from Park Avenue playdates to Silicon Alley boardrooms, only for him to swap my legacy for his vices. Now, in his body, with his access codes and his face, I'd rewrite the ending. Starting with that $4 million will he'd been salivating over. The city pulsed outside the loft's floor-to-ceiling windows, horns blaring up from Washington Street, the Hudson glittering like fool's gold under sodium lamps. New York in late fall, crisp air laced with hot dog steam and diesel, leaves crunching under Louboutins on the sidewalks below. We had built this view from nothing, coding algorithms in a queen's basement while Ethan finger-painted with caviar. Now, his body felt alien, broader shoulders straining the Tom Ford shirt, legs too long for my old habits. I paced the marble floors, phone buzzing with alerts from his calendar, lunch with the board, drinks with Senator Klein's aide. Power. His power. My power. Reclaimed. First move, confirm the swap. I grabbed my iPhone, thumbprint unlocking it like a vault. Text from his PA. "Boss, ICU update. Autumn stable but comatose. Will reading push to next week? Stable?" That was me in there. Or rather, him puppeteering my withered frame. A quick Google. Body swap urban legends NYC. Forums lit up with whispers, some voodoo shop in Harlem, a quantum glitch from the new Hale Dynamics AI lab. But I knew better. It was the experimental neural interface we'd been testing, Ethan's pet project, meant to preserve executive minds post-mortem. He'd volunteered me as the guinea pig, injecting nanites during my routine checkup. Malfunction? Or sabotage gone wrong? Either way, jackpot. I showered his body, all lean muscle from SoulCycle sessions I'd funded, toweling off while plotting. The will was the linchpin, $4 million carved out for his trust, The rest tied up in Hale stock he'd manipulate post-mortem. I'd change it. Disinherit the snake. Redirect to charities he'd mock at dinner parties. But controversial? Hell yes. I'd frame it as his epiphany, a public mea culpa, leaking docs that painted him as the embezzler. Twitter would erupt, Hale air exposed. The board? They'd circle like vultures. But with his face, I'd sway them. Dressed in his uniform, slim-fit chinos, cashmere sweater, I hit the streets. Cab, to Mount Sinai. The ICU where my old body lay. Heart pounding, his heart, steady as a metronome. I flashed his ID at the desk. Ethan Hale. Checking on Mom. Nurses cooed sympathies. I nodded, throat tight. Peering through the glass, their eye was autumn. Silver hair matted, skin like parchment, machines beeping a dirge. But the eyes, when they fluttered open, it was him. Panic flickered, then calculation. He mouthed, "What the fuck?" I smirked, his smirk, and mouthed back, "Welcome to hell, kiddo." Back at the loft, I dove into his files. Laptop password, my birthday. Irony. Spreadsheets bloomed, $2.3 million siphoned to Cayman accounts, labeled R&D diversion. Emails to his mistress, Lila, a bottle blonde with a law degree from Fordham and ambitions sharper than her stilettos, plotting my euthanasia. Arsenic's clean. SEC heat dies with her. The crime I'd borne, not just the poisoning, but the fall guy for his fraud. I'd confessed on his behalf, per his forged power of attorney, to shield the company. My mistake? Blind love. Now, his secrets unspooling like a bad trade on the NYSE. Night fell. City lights fracturing the skyline. I poured his Macallan, smooth burned down a throat that wasn't mine, and dialed the lawyer. Harlan Voss. Ethan Hale. Change the will. Disinherit myself, Autumn gets nothing. Redirect to the Hale Foundation. Voss sputtered. But sir, that's $4 mill. Your inheritance. I cut him. Epiphany. Harlan. Mom's legacy lives on. Not my greed. Click. Controversial decision 1. Gutting his future in one call. Twitter draft queued. Facing my demons. Changing the will to honor Mom's vision. Redemption arc. Posted at dawn. But Ethan, trapped in me, was an idol. Morning news pinged. Hale Dynamics CEO Autumn Hale awakens from coma. Demands emergency board meeting. Shit. He'd rally the troops. Spin the swap as a miracle recovery. I had to move fast. Boardroom battle, his cunning against my insider rage. The antagonist? Ethan wasn't just a son. He was a Machiavellian mini-me. Schmoozing senators for tax breaks. Betting influencers for buzz. Power incarnate. Now caged in frailty. I suited up, Zegna, power tie, and Ubered to the Hale Tower in Midtown. Elevators hummed with whispers, interns Googling coma miracles. The boardroom, walnut table, Manhattan views, air thick with cologne and tension. I strode in as Ethan, all confidence. Gentlemen, ladies, Mom's back. But I've got news. Slides queued, his embezzlement charts. Red ink bleeding. Gasps. Ethan, what is this? Chairwoman Patel, my old ally, leaned in. Proof, I said, voice steady. He's been bleeding us dry. Chaos. Phones out. SEC à l'air firing. Then the door burst, my body, wheeled in by Voss. Tubes dangling like accusations. Lies. Ethan's voice from my lips. Frail but venomous. My son's framing me, delusional from grief. The room split, loyalists to Autumn, skeptics eyeing the docks. I locked eyes with him, his eyes in my face, and saw the fear. Good. Climax brewing. I leaked the files anonymously, burner account. Timed drip. Twitter exploded. Hail betrayal trending. Talking heads on CNBC dissecting the family implosion. Protests outside the tower. Feminists cheering, matriarch's revenge. Conservatives decrying woke inheritance wars. Controversial? My decisions, exposing him publicly. Doxing Lila's accounts, sparked debates. Vigilante justice or cyberbullying. Dark web forums buzzed. Did she swap souls? Witch hunt vibes. Ethan countered. Press conference from the hospital. Tears streaming down my cheeks. My boys cracking under pressure. Pray for us. Pity poured in, GoFundMe for Autumn's recovery. Shares dipping 15%. I needed the twist. Dug deeper. His safe. Biometrically locked to my print, huh? Inside. Not just ledgers. But photos. Me. Young. With his father, my husband, dead in a car accident Ethan had staged at 16. To claim insurance. Pinning it on my negligence. The secret buried. I'd covered for him. Called it mechanical failure. Bore the guilt for decades. I'd taken the blame. Lost contracts. My reputation scarred. His first crime. My eternal sin. Rage crystallized. I confronted him. Midnight ICU visit. Guards bribed with petty cash. Remember the crash? Ethan? Daddy's brakes? You were the driver. His eyes, mine, widened. How? Because I'm you now. You little shit. And I'm ending it. I injected air into the force, slow. Untraceable embolism. Controversial kill? Mercy or matricide? As he gasped, body convulsing. I whispered. The will's changed. Your legacy's ash. But the twist, the gut punch reversal, hit as sirens wailed. Voss called. Ethan, Sir, the DNA tests from the Neural Project. It's not a swap. It's a clone. You're Ethan. Mom's mind uploaded fully. Her body's just a shell. What? The nanites hadn't swapped. They'd overwritten. I wasn't Autumn in Ethan's skin. I was Ethan. Her memories grafted on like a bad merger. The betrayal? Hers. Programming me to avenge a lie she fabricated to control him post-mortem. The poisoning? Self-inflicted for sympathy. Secrets inverted. She was the embezzler. He the fall guy. Horror crashed. I'd killed my own body. Disowned myself. Torched the empire on her ghost's command. Cops swarmed me. In his body. Arrested for attempted murder. Trial loomed. Clone chaos. Ethicists raging on soul rights. The screaming I Frankenstein. Ending? Tragic farce. The sun. Rotting in Rikers. Her will intact. Foundation bloated with donations that lined her cronies' pockets. Debated to death, villain or victim. As the cell door clanged, I laughed his laugh, echoing her final hook. In the end, we all inherit the monster we made. The gavel's echo still rattles in my skull like loose change in a beggar's cup. But backtrack to the fallout, that week after the ICU injection, when New York's underbelly started gnawing at the edges of my stolen life. I was Ethan Hale now, outwardly the prodigal prince of Hale dynamics, striding through board meetings with a swagger that masked the vertigo of mismatched limbs. Inside, Autumn's fury. A storm cloud lodged in his ribcage, raining acid on every memory. The city didn't sleep. Neither did I. Red Bull and regret-fueled all-nighters, poring over our digital footprints, unraveling the web he'd spun while I gasped for air in that bed. Lila, the mistress, was key. Her texts lit up his phone like fireflies in heat. Babe, when's the funeral? We can finally go public. Public? She'd been the ghostwriter of his takedown memos, forging my emails to the feds, painting me as the greedy founder cashing out on AI hype. Deep dive into her LinkedIn, ex-prosecutor turned consultant, with a Rolodex of DC fixers. Their affair started at my 60th Davos-style gala in the Hamptons, where he'd poured champagne while I networked. Betrayals flavor, Chardonnay sour, with a chaser of her perfume on his collars I'd dry-cleaned without question. I met her at their spot, Le Cuckoo, Nolita, where waiters knew to comp the escargot. She slid into the booth, all highlights and halter, mistaking my haunted stare for passion. Ethan, you look intense. The coma thing messing with you? I leaned in, his cologne, Creed Aventus, my splurge, wafting like a taunt. Lila, tell me about the arsenic. Her fork froze midair, escargot dangling. What? That's crazy. I slid the lab printout across, nanite logs showing her access to my smoothie blender in the penthouse kitchen. You dosed it. For him. For us. Panic rippled her Botox. It was mercy. You were tanking the company, your scandals, the audits. Ethan said it'd look like natural causes. His scandals shifted to me like hot potatoes. I pressed. And the crash? You knew about the brakes. Flashback in her eyes, guilty squint. He was a kid, high on Adderall. You covered it, remember? Said it was your fault for not checking the car. My fault. Always. I'd pleaded with cops, teary in the rain-slicked driveway, husband's blood pooling under the Bentley. For Ethan. For family. She bolted, handbags swinging, Louboutins clacking on Broome Street cobblestones. I tailed her, Uber weaving through Soho traffic, past galleries hawking Basquiat's for Bitcoin. Her walk up in the Bowery, buzzer buzzed. Door clicked. Inside. Chaos silk robes, pill bottles, a wall safe cracked like an egg. I rifled it while she sobbed in the bathroom. USB drives. Labelet haledirt. Plug into his phone, videos. Me, Autumn, signing the forged confession, voice trembling under his hypnosis app. For the greater good. Mom. Say it. The crime I'd borne, not just silence on the murder, but complicity in his fraud, drugged into compliance. Darkness deepened. I uploaded snippets to a dark pool forum anon-trade, where Wall Street whistleblowers lurked. Hale Air's hypno-hustle, videos inside. Bids poured. Journalists. Hackers. A rival VC sniffing blood. By dawn, Bloomberg broke it. Hale Dynamics scandal. CEO's son used mind control tech. Stock plummeted 22%. Board emails flooding my inbox. Resign or riot. Ethan's response. From the hospital, a leaked audio. My voice, his now, slurring. Ethan's innocent. It's all me. Deepfake. Or pre-recorded insurance. Controversial pivot. I went nuclear. Live on CNBC's Squawk Box, his face beaming under studio lights. I confessed. I'm stepping down. Mom's the visionary. I've been misguided. The world changes reflect that. Host gawked, Becky Quick's eyebrow arching like a stock chart. Misguided how? Ethan? I dropped the bomb. Embezzlement. Hypnosis. And worse, a cover-up that's haunted us. Clips went viral. Ethan exposed. Memes of me as Pinocchio. Strings to a puppet master grave. Feminists rallied. Protect Autumn. While MAGAPod screamed, Deep State AI plot. Tense? The death threat started at noon. Fake sun. Real fraud. Jump from the tower. Ethan, sensing the noose, played his hand. Hospital discharge, wheeled out to paparazzi flashes. My body frail in a Chanel wrap dress. Waving weakly. Family first. We're healing. But his eyes, my eyes, gleamed with malice. That night, his hackers hit back, my Twitter hacked, posting rants about liberal witches swapping souls. Followers plummeted, sponsors fled. I countered with a burner op-ed in the Post. The body in question, my mother's mind, my sins. Anonymous. But whispers linked it to me. Debates ignited. Is confession catharsis or career suicide? The antagonist's depth. Ethan wasn't brute force. He was algorithm, predicting moves, countering with data dumps. His network? Ex-CIA fixer from Langley. Now private equity shark. Lila's DC ties greasing palms for injunctions. Power's perfume. Old money and older grudges. I taught him that at poker nights in the village. Bluffing senators over cigars.
Now.
It choked me. Midweek. The real heat. FBI knock at the loft. Agents in off-the-rack suits. Badges glinting. Mr.
Hale.
We need to talk neural interfaces. And a certain will amendment. Paranoia spiked his paranoia. My instincts. I lawyered up. Boss sweating bullets. It's legit.
Agents.
Epiphany. They smirked. Or coercion. We've got a tip. Your mom claims identity theft. Ethan. Puppeteering from rehab. Filing complaints. Stalemate. To break it, I hit the streets, his Maserati purring down FDR Drive. Wind whipping hair I didn't style. Destination, the Harlem Botanica. Whispers from forums pointing to Mama Zora. Voodoo queen with a side in quantum hacks. Her shop, shells of herbs. Candles flickering like guilty consciences. Air thick with sage and secrets. You wear another skin, she rasped. Palms reading mine, his palms. Calloused from climbing walls. Not keyboards. Nanites bind you. To unbind? Blood price. Controversial right. A vial of my blood. Drawn from the ICU chart. Mix with his, yours now, and drink. Truth surfaces. Back home. Syringe trembling. I prep the cocktail. Scalpels from his grooming kit. Slicing shallow. Crimson beads welling. Mixed. Swigged. Bitter as regret. Visions crashing. Flash, the crash. Not accident. Ethan swerving deliberately. High on rage after I cut his trust fund for bad grades. I'd seen the skid marks. The pedal pressure. But lied. For love. Another, the poisoning. His hand on the vial. But mine approving the formula. Test on self first. For veracity.
Wait.
I'd greenlit it. To expose flaws. Doubt crept. As the loft's shadows lengthening. Was the swap her design? To force redemption through me? Or his trap? Uploading her malice into him? Phone rang, boss. The board's voting ouster. And Ethan, your mom, she's requesting a visit. Alone. I drove to the hospital. City blurring, Times Square neon mocking my fracture. Her room. Monitors hushed. My old face propped on pillows. Eyes sharp. Ethan, he breathed, my voice
Cracked.
You fool. It's me, your mother. The upload worked too well. Her memories overwrote you.
No.
I was Autumn. Liar, I hissed. You poisoned me. Laughter. Wheezing. We poisoned ourselves. Joint decision, cancer was coming. Untreatable. Better to swap. Let you carry the load. Twist teasing, shared sin, but evidence mounted. I pulled the USB from my pocket, her videos, now playing on the room tablet. Her directing him to forge.
To frame.
It was for the company.
Son.
Sacrifice builds empires. His tears, genuine. The betrayal, mutual. A toxic tango. My hand, his, hovered over the call button. End it or merge? Sirens in the distance, his allies closing in. Decision loomed. Dark and debated. Kill the vessel. Free the soul? Or confess the clone? Append ethics? Ethics be damned. The vial's aftertaste lingered like cheap bourbon on a bender, blurring the line between victim and villain as I stared down my own withered face in that ICU glow. Ethan's plea, Mom's gone. It's just echoes, hung in the air, thick as the antiseptic fog. But I couldn't unsee the videos looping on the tablet. Her, me, cackling in boardroom simulations, scripting his downfall to toughen the boy. The swap was an accident. It was her endgame. A neural Trojan horse to puppeteer from beyond, forcing me, him, to dismantle the empire she'd built, then burn.
Why?
Paranoia from the crash guilt, projecting her sins onto his future. Deep betrayal inverted, not son against mother, but mother's ghost devouring her creation. I smashed the tablet, screen spiderwebbing like trust, and bolted, his loafers squeaking on linoleum. Elevators dinged with arriving shifts. I ghosted past, heart hammering a 4/4 beat against ribs that felt borrowed.
Outside.
Manhattan's chill slapped, December edging in. Holiday lights twinkling premature on Fifth Avenue storefronts. Salvation Army bells clanging like judgment. Cabs honked. I flagged one. Barking Tribeca.
Fast.
Driver. A grizzled Pakistani with talk radio blasting Rush Limbaugh reruns. Eyed the rear view. You okay? Boss. Look like saw a ghost. Worse, I muttered. My own. Loft sanctuary shattered. Door ajar forced. Inside. Chaos. Drawers ransacked.
Laptop iPad.
Lila's work. Or feds. Paranoia peaked. I barricaded with the Eames chair. Then dove into the cloud backups, his paranoia. Triple encrypted. Files bloomed. Her journals. Digitized from the nightstand safe. Entries from the crash night. Ethan's rage. Mirrors mine at his age. Must atone by breaking him.
Atone?
She'd orchestrated the cover-up, bribing the me for mechanical failure, then leveraged guilt to chain him to Hale. The mistake I'd borne, confessing publicly years later, in a therapy leak, tanking deals. Her spin, Mom's instability, shifting blame, making him the steady hand. Rage morphed to pity, his pity, softening my edges. But revenge? It simmered. As the city's underbelly. I called Mama Zora. The right. Does it reverse? Her voice. Gravel over phone static. Blood binds. But will breaks. Confront the core, her lab. The source. The neural lab, sublevel of Hale Tower. Black budget AI for mind preservation. I'd shut it post-incident. But keys lingered in his wallet. Midnight raid. Service entrance. His RFID buzzing me in like a VIP at Marquee. Halls echoed empty. Janitors off. Servers humming hymns to silicon gods. Lab door, retinal scan, his eye fooling the laser. Inside, cryopods glowing blue. Servers whirring with ghost data. Central console, her face, holographic, flickering to life.
Autumnhale.
Access denied unless you're. It scanned.
Glitched. Ethan?
The upload integrity at 87%. Memories bleeding. Her sim me. Younger. Fierce smiled. You came to finish it. Confrontation digital. I hacked the interface. Voice modulator on. It's me.
Mom.
Your echo in him. Why the poison?
The swap.
Hollow autumn paste pixels. Cancer. Untreatable. Docs lied to spare you. The arsenic? Euthanasia pact. But the nanites.
Glitch.
I meant to guide. Not overwrite. Lie detector subroutine pinged red. Deeper probe. Logs showed deliberate overload. Her code tweaking to dominate. You wanted control eternal. I accused. Frame him for your sins. The crash. The fraud. Her hollow flickered shame. The crash was his. I covered to protect us. But power corrupts. Turn me to puppeteer. Twist deepening. The fraud? Joint her skimming for off-books R&D. Him laundering through Lila. Sissy heat? They'd framed me, autumn, via deepfakes. To retire gracefully. Leaving him CEO. The body swap, her suicide switch. Uploading to punish his weakness in hesitating the kill. You were to mercy me, son. Instead, you faltered, love's flaw. I laughed, bitter, and now I'm you.
Killing you.
Console access, delete command hovering. But pause, controversial mercy, delete her, erase me, or merge. Become hybrid air? Alarms blared, security breach. His own protocols biting back. Guards inbound. I smashed the hollow projector. Sparks flying like 4th of July regrets. Fled through vents. His body scraping ducts. Emerging in the alley behind the tower. Garbage reek mixing with rain-slick steam from grates. Dawn broke gray. City stirring, joggers in Central Park. Baristas slinging lattes at Joe Coffee. I holed up in a NoHo Airbnb. Cash drop.
No traces.
Plan coalesced. Exposed the lab. The upload. But twisted his confession. Absolving her. Damning me as the clone gone rogue. Well, unchanged? No. Amend further. For $1 to crash victims fund. Controversial. Self-disinheritance. Sparking white guilt debates on Fox. Tech atonement on MSNBC. Ethan trapped. Raging escalated. From rehab. He sued. Identity fraud by son. Court date set. Headlines screaming, Hail Family Civil War. Who's real? Pundits piled on. Ethicists on postmortal rights. Lawyers hawking soul IP. I prepped. Voss coaching. Mock crosses. But Lila? She flipped. DA immunity for testimony. Spilling on the pact. They planned it together. Suicide swap for legacy laundering. Climax brewed in the federal courthouse. Foley Square. Rain lashing marble lions like tears. I testified first, his suit crisp. Voice steady. Your Honor.
I'm Etan Khale.
The woman in that bed? My mother.
Preserved.
But her code. Corrupted me. Gasps rippled. Jury leaned. Diverse as the city Bronx teacher. Queens banker. Staten cop. Then her turn. Wheeled in. My body defiant. Tubes a crown of thorns. Lies. He's the imposter. AI hallucination. Cross-exam. I played the videos. Her directing the fraud. Admit it.
Mom.
The crash guilt drove you mad. Her eyes, mine flared. Guilt? You drove. Ethan. I cleaned your mess. Court erupted. Objections flying like confetti. Judge banged. Order. But truth cracked open. Forensics expert. Subpoenaed. Testified. Nanite logs show dual upload. Mother's mind dominant.
So I suppressed.
It's a battle royale in there. Jury murmurs. Monster or martyr.
Outside.
Protests swelled. Transhumanists chanting free the code. Traditionalists burning effigies of circuit board saints. Tense as a market crash. My guards, XSLS on retainer, whisking me to the sedan. But ambush, paparazzi swarm. Then a shot, silencer pop. His shoulder blooming red. Lila's fixer? Or Ethan's desperation? I slumped. Blood hot. Vision tunneling. Finish it, I gasped to the driver. Hospital bound. Irony's knife twist. Chaos, Zuturis. Morphine haze. Woke to Voss. Hung jury mistrial. But the will? Challenged. Her lawyers? Smelling victory. Dark turn. In the morphine dream. Visions merged, crash night. Both hands on wheel. Both dosing the smoothie. Shared madness. The antagonist? Not him. Not her, us.
Symbiotic scene.
Decision point. Pull the plug remotely. Via lab backdoor? Controversial euthanasia. Broadcast live? Or surrender? Let courts dissect the soul? Twitter polls raged. 52% and the suffering. 48% fight for flesh. Choice loomed as monitors beeped my borrowed pulse. Morphine wore off like a bad high, leaving me, Ethan's flesh. Autumn's ghost, in a private suite overlooking the East River. Bridges strung with lights like veins pulsing against the night. The mistral hung like a guillotine blade, half dropped, and the city below churned indifferent, ferries cutting wakes. Late-night diners hawking halal carts under sodium glow. I'd bought this view with code and cunning. But now it mocked freedom's illusion. Just another transaction waiting to default. Voss paced. Tablet glowing with filings. They want the upload logs. Ethan. Full disclosure. If it's dual mind, you're. Compromised? Understatement of the century. The nanites hummed in my veins. A low buzz like tinnitus from too many Jets games, whispering her doubts into his resolve. Flash intrusions. Her first pitch at TechCrunch disrupt. Voice cracking under VC scrutiny. His prom night fumble. Her coaching through the phone. Merge or madness. I waved Voss off. Stalm. I need the lab again. One last right. Mama Zora's blood brew, be damned. Sneak in Redix, choppered to the tower helipad, his perk. Rotors chopping fog like butter, then down shafts. Maglocked doors yielding to overrides. Labs sealed post-breach. Yellow tape fluttering like surrender flags. Console rebooted. Her hollow sputtering. Back for round 2. Son? Or should I say, daughter? Snark. Pure autumn. Sarcasm honed on Boston boardrooms. I interface direct. Neural jack at the neck port. His implant firing. Download storm. Memories cascading. Binary baptism. In the sim space. White void. Us as avatars. Me in his board shorts. Her in pearls and power suit. End this, I demanded. Delete the dominant code. She circled. Pixels trailing. Delete me? You'd orphan yourself. These memories, your crutch. Revelations unspooled. The crash. Footage from dash cam I'd buried. Her foot on the pedal too. Accelerating in fury at his confession of a teen affair. We both killed him, she admitted. Shared secret. Shared grave. The fraud? Her idea. His execution. Off books to fund the upload. Fearing her death would tank stock.
Poison?
Mutual mercy. But glitch made it war. Twist's core. No pure villain. The powerful maw. Hail Dynamics itself. AI behemoth devouring creators. Algorithms optimizing betrayal. We built a monster, her hollow side. Now it's us. Controversial truth. The swap saved him, uploading her to co-pilot, averting solo collapse. But I'd weaponized it. That will change a knee-jerk gutting his safety net. Undo it, she urged. Redirect to him, us. Eject. Jack out. Head throbbing like post-Coachella. Alarms wailed anew. Feds this time. Tipped by Vasa slip, I torched the servers. USB flamethrower. Flames licking consoles like vindictive lovers. Escaped via loading dock. Truck rumbling into dawn traffic on the Van Wyck. Backlash tsunami. News helicopters thwopping overhead. Sharon screaming. Hail Lab Inferno. Cover up? Stock cratered 40%. Board dissolved in emergency Zoom resignations. Ethan, me and her. Went public. Bedside interview with 60 Minutes. Tears genuine. My son's lost, brainwashed by tech we trusted. But I'll fight for his soul. Pity swelled. Shares rebounded on humanity comeback narrative. I went underground. Safe house in the Catskills. Adirondack cabin rented under alias. Stocked with burners and bourbon. Woods whispered conspiracies. Owls hooting like informants. Leaves rustling SEC subpoenas. There. The decision crystallized. Surrender. Not defeat, but absolution. Drafted the confession video.
Raw.
His face tear-streaked before a stone fireplace.
I'm etanjale.
But part of me is her autumn. We sinned together. The crash. The fraud. The swap. The will. My attempt at penance.
Now.
I release it all. Uploaded to YouTube. Hail truth. Views spiking like a meme stock. Debates detonated. Ethicists on distributed consciousness. Pastors preaching demonic possession. Tech bros hailing next-level VR. Controversial cap. I pled guilty preemptively. Accessory to fraud. Manslaughter via crash cover. Sentence? House arrest in the loft. Nanites monitored. Therapy mandatory. Climaxes echo. The final board vote. Virtual. Me dialing in from exile.
Dissolve Hale Dynamics.
Assets to victims, crash families, SEC whistleblowers. Foundation for AI ethics. Eyes rolled, Patel abstaining. Eyes wet. Empire crumbled. Not with a bang, but a audited whimper. Twist's reversal landed in the sentencing hearing. Foley square again. Spring thawing the chill.
Judge.
A no-nonsense Brooklynite with tattoos peeking from robes. Mr. Hail or Ms. Or whatever hybrid. You've confessed sins that'd make Dante blush. But redemption? That's the debate. Evidence montage, videos, logs. Her hollow testimony, salvaged fragment. Then his witness, Lila. Redeemed. Tearful. They loved fierce. Faulty. But real. Jury. Hung no more. Recommended leniency. Probation. Restitution. But the gut punch. Psych eval. Doc. Harvard shrink with a podcast. The uploads fading, naturally. You're integrating as Ethan. With her lessons. not chains. No clone war, symbiosis. The truth inverted, not revenge's puppet, but evolution's heir. I'd killed her echo to birth us. Ending? Debatable tragedy laced with grace. Loft reclaimed, well rewritten final, for dollar mill split, half to him me, half to her ghosts victims. City healed slow. New venture.
Ethica Lai startup in Brooklyn warehouse.
Coding with coders who unionized. Dates flickered coffee with a barista who didn't Google me. Laughs genuine. But nights? Her voice lingers. You and whisper. We made it.
Kid.
Messy. But ours. Was it happy? If closure counts, yes. For the broken.
Big.
In the empire's ash. The son's freedom bought with mother's erasure. Readers argue. Justice or just another American hustle? A soul swapped for stocks.
Me?
I sip Macallan on the balcony. Hudson flowing eternal. And toast the monster we slayed. Together.